Welcome to RAIN, the Real Estate Investor Growth Network with your hostess, Jen Josie. Join like-minded real estate investors and accelerate your business towards greatness. You will hear step-by-step strategies for success, interviews with real estate rock stars, and we will dig deep into past projects where we bear it all, including the good, the bad, and some just plain ugly. So get excited. Here's the bestower of badassery herself, the real Jen Josie. Listener discretion is advised.
Hi, and welcome back. I'm Jen Josie, creator of RAIN, the Real Estate Investor Growth Network. Whoop, whoop. On today's episode, we have a guest who will be sharing their badassery. But before we begin, here's today's Badassery Bestowment, a little badass gift to you. Today's topic is why your first deal doesn't have to be perfect. Rain Nation, analysis paralysis kills more investing careers than bad deals ever will. If you're waiting for the perfect deal before you take action, you might be waiting forever. Here are 5 reasons why your first deal doesn't need to be perfect. Number 1, perfect is the enemy of progress. There are no flawless deals. Every property has a trade-off, a quirk, a number that isn't quite ideal. Waiting for perfection means you're waiting indefinitely while others take action and thrive. Number 2, your first deal is a teacher, not a trophy. The lessons you will learn executing your first deal, communication with contractors, managing a timeline, working with a lender, are worth more than the profit margin. Treat it as tuition that pays you back. Number 3, good enough done consistently beats perfect every time. A solid deal you actually close builds momentum, confidence, and a track record. A perfect deal you will never pull the trigger on builds nothing. Number 4, mistakes are recoverable, inaction is not. Most rookie mistakes can be fixed, budgeted around, or learned from. But years spent not investing because you were waiting for certainty, that is time you'll never get back. And number 5, confidence comes from doing, not from knowing everything. You will never be 100% ready. The investors who succeed are the ones who move forward at maybe 70% ready and figure out the rest along the way. So, Rain Nation, remember, done is better than perfect and started is better than stalled. Take massive action and keep bringing that badassery. Now, on to today's episode of the Real Estate Investor Growth Network podcast. Today's guest is Tim Woodbridge, founder and acquisitions lead at WCG Investments, where he helps investors build recession-resistant portfolios through mobile home park investing. Tim purchased his first mobile home park back in December of 2019, doubled its value in just 14 months, and returned investor capital through a refinance. He now manages nearly 300 lots across 9 parks. What makes Tim's story truly remarkable goes beyond the numbers. He's in long-term recovery from drugs and alcohol and manages multiple sclerosis, experiences that have profoundly shaped his approach to resilience, leadership, and building a people-first operation. His mission isn't just to generate returns, it's to create stability for the residents in his communities while delivering consistent returns for his investors. It's my pleasure to have him on the show, so welcome, Tim Woodbridge. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me on the podcast.
Absolutely. We're practically neighbors. You're in South Carolina. Excuse my nose running here. Where in South Carolina are you?
I live outside of Myrtle Beach.
Very nice. I have a student who just bought a condo down there. So fun area, definitely. Well, I want to jump into this. And before we start talking about any strategies and deals, I have to ask about your journey, your long-term recovery, and then managing MS. Those are not small things to carry while simultaneously building a real estate portfolio. So how did your personal story shape for the investor and the operator you are today? That was such a loaded question, wasn't it?
It's a good question though, man. Yeah. So recovery is honestly the foundation of everything that I do. And it's really helped me in so many different ways, just living better and living more honestly. And like all of that comes out in my life and how I do business and everything like that. So it's such an amazing foundation. And really another big thing there is like it has freed up my brain to allow me to say, okay, like let's do things that are actually interesting. Let's build this company and like focus in places where I can have a really big impact. So that's amazing. MS has taught me a lot of go slower, take it easy. I love the 5 tips you gave in the beginning of this. And for me today, massive action is more consistent action. So it's taking a pause when I need to take a pause and recognizing that, okay, a few hours of work in the morning and then consistently really compounds over time versus I used to do a ton of work and then nothing and then a ton and then nothing. And now I'm like, no, just consistently doing this and building the portfolio with the team I have gets way better results than trying to fight against anything. Just a little bit every day.
Absolutely. So what was that timeline? Were you drugs and alcohol first? When were you diagnosed with MS? Tell me about the timeline there.
Oh man, drugs and alcohol a lot of my life. And then MS diagnosed 9 years ago. So yeah, they overlap, of course, and just a lot of with the using and whatnot, a lot of reacting to things that happened when I was a kid, and then using that as a poor coping mechanism, and then finding recovery and using a much better coping mechanism there. And then yeah, like my mom had it, and I was diagnosed with it, and it didn't really have much of an impact for a while. Over the past couple of years, it has started to have more of an impact, and it's more very much like, okay, what can I do? Like I don't need to run myself ragged like I used to. I need to, like I was saying, be consistent and do the consistent things. And then like this is a side note, like, so I'm a nurse. I'm excited about medicine and stuff like that. I'm a retired nurse. And so I am scheduled to have a HSCT, hematopoietic stem cell transplant or therapy for like long-term MS remission. And I mean,
Wow.
it's crazy because it's almost no one is doing it. Almost no one hears about it. I could get into follow the money and drug companies and stuff like that, and how you can't really monetize this, but I don't know. It's really fascinating, and I'm really excited to have this done and just stop the progression of the disease, man. It's an amazing time to be alive.
Very nice. I love the positivity because so many people can take a diagnosis like that and just completely shut down. So I'm just that's fantastic. I don't even know what words to say because I can't even compare anything in my life to that. But yeah, I just that is amazing that the research is out there, that you are going to be one of the first in this area to really get through this. So that is amazing. Going back to the recovery, how has that kind of shaped how you treat like your residents? Because you do mobile home parks, and sometimes, a lot of times, they're lower socioeconomic. There are issues. So how does that going through recovery actually help you in how you treat your residents?
Well, I've learned to meet people where they're at. So everyone is deserving everyone's a human. No one is exactly where I am. And it's more like, okay, how can we serve? How can we serve our tenants? How can we serve our investors? How can I serve my partners and the company that we've built together? And so, yeah, it definitely comes from a meeting people where they're at and coming from a serving mindset. And like that has really transformed the success that we've had. And so it's like if I can put everyone else kind of first, then I am confident 100% that I'll be taken care of. And that's just over and over, shown to me over and over.
That is wonderful. All right. I want to talk about this first deal though. So 14 months, you doubled it. You bought a park in 2019. What made that a direction for you to go? Because a lot of people have differentiating opinions about mobile home parks. So how did you choose this deal? How did you find us? How did you find it? Tell us all about it.
Yeah, so when I heard about mobile home parks, Frank Rolfe was on the Bigger Pockets podcast talking to Brandon, and Brandon was asking all these cool questions, and I was just excited about it. And in the podcast, Frank says, go check out mobilehomeparkstore.com. I thought it was a fake website, but I went to it anyway. And yeah, I found one for sale by owner relatively close to me, like an hour away.
Was this in California or South Carolina?
South Carolina.
Okay.
South Carolina. Yeah.
I wouldn't imagine there'd be many mobile home parks out in California.
Dude, when my parents divorced, we went, like my mom went and bought a double wide in a mobile home park. And so all my teenage years just about was spent living in a mobile home park. So
wow.
They are there, man. Like
oh my
go
goodness.
to my Instagram, and like one of the pinned photos is me. When my wife and I went to California, we went and stopped by there, and here's the mobile home that I grew up in. It's so interesting. But yeah, they're everywhere.
Okay. Well, okay. See, I'm prejudging everything here. So let's walk through this first deal. And how did you improve it to double it in 14 months?
Yeah. So like for everyone listening, for everyone who's new or relatively new, like I didn't know what I was doing. I went in thinking, okay, if I do this and I figure it out, I know I will be better off in the future than I am today. And not to say that I was bad, just to say like, okay, I know that this is a direction I want to take my life in. And so I bought the park, found it on mobilehomeparkstore.com, contacted the owner, bought it for $250,000.
How many lots?
It's 36 lots, and only 10 of 36 were occupied, and lot rent was $125. So like, man, I talked to people who had more experience, and they're like, that's a bad deal. And I said the whole time up until closing, I wasn't sure if this was a good deal or a bad deal. And yeah, I mean, we closed it, and the key was bringing more homes in and then bringing up the occupancy. So in 2020, COVID hits, and then Legacy Housing manufacturer says we're going to finance 100% of these homes to park owners who have empty lots to do infill. And so we bought 7 and set them up and everything, and figuring out that setup. That was a lot of, how do I get this done right now? And putting stuff on personal credit cards and stuff like that, and just figuring it out as we went. And so there was 17, and then 2 other people like moved their homes into the park. And so we went from 10 at 36 to 19 at 36. When we closed, so I bought it for $250, appraised for $355 at that time. The beginning of 2021, I had the 19 in, and we did a refi, and it appraised for $570,000 at that time. And so like that's how more than doubled what we purchased it for. It was a JV, so me and my partner, we returned our investor capital, and just continue to hold. The big thing though, it's not so much that it was a home run monetarily. It's more, okay, I've learned how to do this. I've been there so many times. I've put my hands on it. I know, I understand the ins and outs, and I know I can do this. And that led me to the second and third and so on and so forth. And I think I have to update my podcast resume, because we're at like 25 parks and a little over 1,100 pads. So just blown up. Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely need to update that bio there. Goodness gracious. Are they all in South Carolina?
No, they're all in the Southeast though.
Okay. So this first park, explain to me, because I know I've interviewed people who own the mobile homes and the parks, and they just rent to people. And then to me, it sounds like you own the park, but then you let other people they own the mobile homes there. You know what I'm trying to say? How is yours structured?
So like a hybrid model, because
Okay.
so sometimes we own the home, sometimes we own the home but create like a rent to own sort of thing where we're creating homeowners, and sometimes tenants own the homes outright. So it's kind of like how I said earlier, I meet people where they're at. We meet today, we meet like the park where it's at. Where are we at right now? And what are the options to get more, basically increase the NOI? How do we increase revenue? How do we decrease expenses? And so we have all these little levers that we can pull to do that. But to us, there's no 100% right way to do it. And anyone who says there is, it's like there's a right now. So a lot of people, I want only tenant own homes. And it's like, okay, that's fine, but you're going to be paying a premium for it because there's a lot bigger guys out there than you, private equity companies who are going to come and pay a lot more than you can pay. Some people are like, I only want to do park owned homes, and that works perfect for them. And it's perfect for them. Maybe they'll change in the future. Who knows? But there's no right way to do it. There's a right way for you. And it's all depends. Like, what do you want? Do you want like time? Do you want more cash? Do you want more headaches? Do you want less headaches? So on and so forth. I think everyone has to really take a step back and realize like what's important to them.
So I've always been told that mobile homes are depreciating assets. So first of all, what does that mean? And then what keeps drawing you to mobile homes?
Yeah, so a lot of people say a lot of things, right?
Yes.
And there's like blanket statements. So a depreciating asset means it's like a car in that it gets, as time goes on, it gets broken down or beat down a little bit. It loses value. So the idea is like, if I buy a mobile home for $50,000 today, maybe next year it'll be worth 45, and then a year after that 40, and so on and so forth, right? In a perfect like depreciating kind of environment. But for everyone who says that, like doesn't realize it's very dependent on a lot of things. There's a mobile home park in Malibu where I think there was a mobile home that sold for $1 million. And I don't know the age of that mobile home, but it certainly didn't come out of the factory for $1 million. So it's very market dependent. It's very like what you can get for it dependent. So there are homes that we have in our portfolio that we're selling them like for a lot more than they were probably worth when it came out of the factory. So it's not as easy and like all the time blanket statement as they're depreciating assets, stay away.
Absolutely. And thank you for clarifying that. So are there any other risk profiles attached to mobile home parks that are different from other residential classes?
Yeah,
Asset
and
classes?
yeah, that's a good question. And when like we've done this enough, and anytime we're going under contract, we have a super thorough due diligence. So we're looking at all the things that could go wrong with the deal. I know smarter people than me have said basically manage the downside and the upside will take care of itself.
Like
In
that.
real estate, that is. Yeah. So like you have all like similar stuff where it's not like it's 8 Mile and we're just buying things and there's all sorts of crime. Sometimes we'll buy it and there's a lot of crime and then we'll clean it up. We'll get rid of the offending tenants. But mostly, man, it's just people who need to live more affordably than other asset classes. And if we're being honest, you look at the statistics, we are very recession resistant. So we have a lot of tenants who stay for years and years and years and decades and so on and so forth. So, it, there's I'm super bullish on it because I see apartments, I see single families, I see all that other stuff, and yeah, we have a lot more consistency with our tenant base than a lot of the others. And I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud that we're able to provide that needed affordable housing to people.
Well, all of those things you just said have really made me change my mindset, because I am personally starting to now dip my toe into the manufactured home business. And I'm looking more for buying land, putting a brand new manufactured home on it. And then so it's a pathway to home ownership for people who in this economy right now can't afford it. And it's just, excuse me, it's one of those things where that karma is a great thing to have in life, but it is such a need right now for it. I mean, you're talking about it being recession proof for the investor. I'm talking about it from the home ownership side of it. The people who really need an affordable place to live and provide something brand new. And some of these newer ones, oh my goodness, are I'm like, how is that a manufactured home? So I love all of what you were just saying about that. So I now want to go back to the investor side. So how do you kind of balance the homeowners, or I'm sorry, the renters, your tenants, their needs along with the investor needs as far as returns and things along that line? How do you balance those two?
Sure. Yeah, those land home packages are so cool. We'll have to do a follow-up call or something about that.
Would love to.
So yeah, so they're recession resistant, right? Not recession proof. Nothing's recession proof. If anyone tells you that, just run the other way because they're
Yep.
full of it. But so, like I said earlier, how we meet every deal kind of where it is, and then have different levers that we can pull to increase the value of something. So like I'm acquisitions lead, and so every offer that I make is very like with the investor return threshold in mind. So, we're like 16 to 20% IRR over 5 years, meaning we'll double your money roughly in 5 years. And so we keep that in like I keep that top of mind when I'm putting any offer out. And in there, my team has already underwritten it in a way that it's not going crazy in terms of like tenants and rent increases and stuff like that. And we're providing value first instead of like, okay, we're just going to come in and you can't do anything about it. We're going to increase your rent day one. It's like, no, like let's put $100,000 road in there and then slowly go up to market. So it's a balancing act for sure, but it's something that we are really good at. And we've been able to consistently do all of these things with little we don't stand on our heads, right? We don't make it so we have to do all these different things that are unlikely to hit the returns and at the same time make it so the tenants are happy. We do little things to ensure everyone is happy.
So what does it look like for the investor? So you said after 5 years, you're doubling their money. So what's an entry type fee, or not fee, amount that they invest with you?
Sure. So first, we only have accredited investors at this time. So $50,000 minimum. We do monthly distributions after the first 90 days. So it's like, give us 90 days so we can get on our feet with this new property and have everything good. And then, monthly distributions. We've never missed a preferred return payment. And then, so in combination with those monthly payments and the projected exit return, we're doubling someone's money in that amount of time. The cash on cash differs, the stuff like that differs, but the high level is, like minimum of doubling someone's money.
So Tim, talk to me like I'm not a math person, which I'm not. I'm putting in $50,000. What is the interest rate that I'm getting each month? I'm assuming I'm getting interest payment.
It's not called interest payment, but
okay.
So it's called a preferred return, right?
Okay.
But let's do $100,000 for easier math.
Okay.
So in this deal that we have right now that we're closing next week, so you put $100,000 in, you're getting roughly $9,000 to $9,500 in returns in year one, roughly $10,500, and then I'd say 13 the year after that, 14, and then 15, roughly. It's off the top of my head. We have, we can
Gotcha.
send documents and stuff like that on how we come up with those numbers. But so your cash flow increases every year. And then at the end of this one, it's a 7-year projection. At the end of that, you get, I think, I want to say it's like over 7 years, you'll get 100,000 in cash flow. And then when we sell, you get another 150. So you put in 100,000, you get 250 out.
Okay. Is that including those monthly payments?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So that's everything together.
My goodness. Wow. That is very impressive. So for all the listeners out there who just fell off their seat, how do they become investors with your company? And say the name of the company. I see the logo, and when there's letters like that, I can't figure out which is the starting letter. So, and I don't have it right in front of me. What is the name of your company?
I like it. That's funny. WCG Investments.
I thought that could have been an E right there. WCG Investments. What is the WCG?
So Woodbridge, Carius, Grunwald. It's all of our last names. We're simple. Like I say. Yeah, exactly. I love boring. Give that to me any day of the week. With our investments, we do the same thing over and over and over and over again, and we stick to what we're good at because that's how we're getting great returns consistently. And
all right. So how do people find you?
WCGinvestments.com.
Perfect. Wonderful. I want to talk real quickly before we go to the second part of the podcast here is the scaling. So you started with one park and that was, what'd you say, 2020?
2019.
2019.
End of 2019. Mm-hmm.
And then you started scaling rather quickly. So like, how do you underwrite properties? What do you look for? Like for my Badassery Bestowment, as we've already talked about, there is no perfect deal, but what is something that really makes you go, that's what I want to dive into next?
Like now I'm looking for base hits, and it's crazy how the base hits turn into home runs. And again, going back to loving boring, like I just love doing the same thing over and over again. And so like one of the base hits that we took down in 2024, so almost 2 years ago, we're doing a refi on it right now, and we're returning all investor capital. We're keeping them in the same position in the deal, so we can all just continue to cash flow. They have nothing in the deal. We're all winning together. And when we took it down, I was like, yeah, this is a good deal. It's a solid base hit. But through our operations, through the little levers we pull, we've made it a home run. And those are the deals that I look for today.
Very, very cool. Well, I'm telling you, it is on my radar. I can't wait to dive into this. I have been in other asset classes, and I do not want to do luxury home for quite a while after the nightmare I've been in the last probably 2 years. But I am absolutely looking forward to this. I'm actually looking to partner with people who are who have the same want to provide affordable housing. I just love all of it. So I could talk to you about this forever, but we are going to go into the second part of the podcast, which is what makes Tim Woodbridge a badass. And I use the acronym BADASS. And the first letter is B for book. You got a lot of books behind you. So what is a book that's made a huge difference in your life?
I like the big one. I don't know if you can see it. Sam Zell's Am I Being Too Subtle? I resonate with that because I'm just like, I say what I mean, what I say sort of thing. There's no BS other than that. So I'm going to do two. Also, buy back your time behind me. And that didn't make sense for me when I was starting. But as I'm building my company, it makes a lot of sense now.
Awesome. All right. The first A in badass is for advice. You've given great advice on this episode, but I'm curious, what's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
I like, and I think about this often, you can't fail if you don't give up. So like you might change, you might alter, you might figure a different thing out. You might say, hey, I tried mobile home parks, I don't like them, or I tried apartments, I don't like them. But as long as you keep going, then you can't fail.
I love it. I tried luxury homes and didn't like it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right. The D in badass is for drive. What drives you to be successful?
It's weird. It's almost innate thing. So I don't like being bored. I like I follow what I'm excited to buy. And today I'm
But you like
excited by
boring
like
things. You keep telling us you like boring things.
I do, but it's not boring to do it. It is not boring to build the company. Like I
Yeah.
love boring assets, but I'm excited about building the company that we're building. That's yeah, that's definitely gets me out of bed, and it's like, oh man, like what's this new thing I'm learning today? With this refi, we're working with CMBS, and it's the first time we've ever worked with a commercial backed security. What is it? Commercial mortgage backed securities. It's the first time we've ever done something like that, and it's learning the idiosyncrasies and just getting better and leveling up and watching my team do the same. We're all growing. It's exciting to me.
How many people on your team?
So the three partners, and then I'd say, 10 or 15 more.
Wow, very nice. All right. The second A in badass is for aspiration. I'm a big goal setter. So, what is a goal you are currently working on?
So we want to get to 250 million assets under management by the beginning of 2029. And the bigger goal, even though that's a big goal, the bigger goal is to be a part of whatever movement. It's not nothing set in stone right now, but it's be part of the movement for ending homelessness in the United States by 2050. Because being a nurse, a retired nurse, seeing people who are experiencing homelessness come into the hospital, and it's so crazy. It's so unfortunate. And you look at studies where they've provided housing to people, and it's like it decreases the medical expenses, decreases all these costs, and increases the productivity of this person and happiness and all that stuff. And it's just, man, it's like planting the seeds to make the world a little bit better. Like those are the big goals that we like to go after.
What a good soul you are, Tim. I love all this. Ah, goodness gracious. So, running over 1,000 doors. Would you say you're at how many doors now? I
A
mean,
little over
doors.
1,100. Yeah.
Little over 1,100. I'm sure you have systems in place. So, the first S in badass is for systems. What systems do you have in place to help you achieve success?
So many, so many. And you know what? You know who's not good at systems? Me, not generally. But my partner, Matthias, the G in WCG, is a rock star at it. He was a COO of the company he worked for before quitting to do this full time. And he does all the details. He's just a rock star at it. And so we have a rent manager and different people working for us, different SOPs, different systems. Again, like, so I was talking earlier about how buy back your time. Like when I first started, it wouldn't have been relevant. Same with Traction. I read Traction maybe when I had my first or second park, and I love the idea, but I'm not an implementer. And so now working with Matthias and having him like, okay, we have EOS, we have all these really great systems. Like I see it coming together now.
And that's such a huge threshold to jump over, I think. Trusting people. Did you know him before or before you started the company? Before he joined the company?
Yeah. So we created the company together with
Gotcha.
our other partner, Vinny, and we met in a mastermind. It was a multifamily mastermind, really great in terms of teaching us how to raise money and how to do syndicated deals and stuff like that. Because I definitely took a few years to really get my bearings on how to run a mobile home park before we raised any capital from anyone. But yeah, we met and just kind of saw how each other worked, and then did a deal together, enjoyed that, and saw the synergy, and then did another, and then did another, and so on and so forth, and then built the company.
And do you attribute any success to that? Because I coach real estate investors across the country, and a lot of them are just nervous about getting into real estate and they want to partner all the time. And I spend so much time having to fix partnerships because they don't choose the right people. So, do you have any advice? We went totally on a left turn here, but do you have any advice for people if they're starting partnerships with folks and how to be successful with them?
Yeah, do Figure out what you can give. Don't figure out what you can take. Figure out what you can give to the partnership. Find someone who has like complementary skill sets, and also accept that there's nothing wrong, I don't think anyway, of getting in a deal with someone and then being like, okay, like you're a fine person, but I don't see a long-term relationship. I know technically like that is a long-term relationship. You're going to have to work with them over the next 5 years or so, give or take. But like, I don't think you really know someone until you're in a deal with them and you see how they consistently show up. And so, yeah, I've had lots of great partners, but none that resonated in the same way that Matthias has and then Vinny has. So there's nothing wrong with doing a deal with someone, and then you can see what works and what doesn't.
Yep. Well said. Well, I could keep talking to you all day, but the final S in badass is for success. What does success mean to Tim Woodbridge?
Having the freedom to do whatever I want, whenever I want, with whoever I want. And yeah, I retired my wife. That's a big success for sure. She's a retired teacher. So yeah, having freedom, it's so good. It was definitely shaky a lot over the past 6 years, or the past 4 or so years since I retired from nursing. It definitely shaky, but I wouldn't give up that freedom that I have. And now it just so happens that I also have monthly cash to take care of everything. So it just gets better. It gets better the more I go and the more people I'm helping. And that, like, Matthias is retired, and Vinny will be the one to retire next, and so on and so forth. And it's just it's so exciting.
That is amazing. Well, this has been such a great conversation. But before we go, one more time, if there's a listener saying, hey, I have $100K that I'd like to park into one of their mobile homes, how do they find you?
Go to WCG Investments. There's a video with Vinny on the front page, and it tells you just high level what there are. Sign up for our mailing list, see what we're doing. If you resonate with us, let's get on a call. If you invest, great. If not, that's fine too. But we're always on a call, willing to help. I'm big into giving back to myself 6 years ago. And so, helping people who are starting out. Some people want to do what I've done, leave their job. Some people love their job, but they want to grow their wealth. And so we get to help either of those people. And yeah, it's just, again, it's like planting the seeds and making the world better than where I found it.
Well, I hope the world gets better for you with this but the treatment that you're going to go through. And I hope you find some success there. And thank you for sharing your badassery with us today. This was such a great interview. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much. I love your questions.
Absolutely. Well, that is all. And thank you for listening. And we'll catch you on the next episode. Now go out there and share your badassery. And don't forget, make it a great day. Take care. Bye-bye. Whoop, whoop.
Thank you for listening to RAIN, the Real Estate Investor Growth Network. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform so you never miss an episode. If you need more badassery, you can follow Jen Josie by visiting therealjenjosie.com or become a member of RAIN by registering on rainmastermind.com.